Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is the first episode of my C beginner course, and in this course I'm going to show you all that you need to know to get started as a C developer. With this said, let's jump right into it. Alright guys, let me show you really quick through the installation of Codeblocks. Come down here or click on your browser, then type codeblocks.org. Codeblocks.org. Come down to downloads in the left side, then in the right side there's the specifications given. Download the binary release and download the source code down here, and there are some many others down. If you can scroll down, we're going with download the binary release, and here in the binary release actually it is showing for me the Windows specification. All of these specifications are for Windows. If you are using Mac or Linux, the specification will be given automatic. So as we come down here, there's a note which says the Codeblocks 20.03 MineGW setup.exe file, which is this one up here, It has the GCC, G++, G compiler, and GDB debugger for MineGW project. If you can see here, this is basically trying to tell us that this specific version has the compilation dependency already in it, and that compilation dependency is MineGW. MineGW is a compiler system based on the GNU, GCC, and Untitled project that compiles and links codes to be run on Windows 32 system. It actually provides C and C++ and Fortran compilers plus other related tools with the compilation dependency. Basically, it refers to minimalistic GNU for Windows project. That is what it is. We can download it from ForceHub or sourceforge.net, and the download is so easy. Like, you just click on the link I'm hovering on, then if you just click on this link, it will count down and it will start downloading immediately. After you finish your download, then you just install it like any normal software you used to install in your computer. After the installation, you don't need anything. You'll just go and write your code. After this, the compilation will work automatic because this version has the specification and everything in it, I'm not actually going to download it because I've did it from the previous video. With this, I'm quite sure you are set up already with your code blocks to start coding in C. Let's go direct to our code blocks and start writing our first C program. Come up to this icon here. Click on this icon. Let's create a new file, then click empty file, and it will prompt for you this empty window. Now click Ctrl S to save the program and give the specific name you want. Let's name it hello.c because it is just a startup program. Let's write our first C program. This is our first startup program. So if you can see overall of this program, let's first run it and see what the output will be. Our output is hello 1 and exclamation mark there. So here we have some basic things to talk about because we run some buttons and we check stuff. So let's first check those buttons. What are their uses? This setting kind of icon looking button is for building a program, and the play one is for running, and the play and setting at the same time, it builds and run the program at the same time. If you can just remember, everything just happened once the moment we just clicked on that button. So this is basically what these buttons can do. Let's now talk about the inside of our program. We have include stdio.h. This is a file inclusion preprocessor directive. It includes for us the header library, which help us with input and output functions. And if we're talking about input and output functions, it starts with those of printf, which you can just see down here, and scanf, and many more. And printf basically is a function that we are using to display a text to console screen. And this standard input and output is really very important to be included in our program. And it's not only standard input and output. We can include many other files to use in our program, but it depends with the programming task in hand, because you can't just include something which you are not using. We have some editions like conio.h, we have math.h, we have many other libraries which we can sometimes use in our programs if is needed according to the programming instructions. This inth main here, this inth main is the starter point of the program's execution. This is showing the compiler that from this point, this is where the execution begins, and this is the beginning of the execution of that program. So by adding it to our program, it makes it easy for the compiler to understand. And curly braces down here, these curly braces are really important in C because they are the opening and closing curly braces which are used to group the executable instruction or statements of the program. We are using both of them to group the executable part of the program so that the compiler will understand that from here up to here, this is what I'm going to execute, or this is what I'm going to run as the instruction suggests. And it is really important. If you didn't add specifically in C, the program will not run. It will just throw an error and stuff like this. Then coming back to printf. Printf is one of a great function in C programming. The reason is because we're using printf to display a text enclosed within quotes. This hello world text which is enclosed within quote, we are using printf. And if you can notice, we have like /n. You can even ask yourself, what is this /n for? This /n actually is a character that we are using to give us empty line after the program entirely. If we wrote this program, if you can just remember from what we tried to compile before, we have an empty line. We have an empty line just after our program. It is displayed with this /n, and it is not only this /n, we have a lot of escape characters. We have /t for tab, we have /f for new page, we have /r for courage, and many others. So talking about return here actually is also one of a nice function to be used in C, because it is showing like the end of the execution part of the specific function. With return, the compiler will understand that this is the end of the execution part of this function, and from the other side, maybe behind this return is going to be different. It is not only returning 0 or not only returning numbers, it is returning pretty much like many things in C programming. And one thing you need to notice also is the semicolons. Semicolons in C is really very important, and it is the very important part of the program in C. If you are adding semicolons in your program, because it is by default is going to be there. If you didn't add semicolon, your code will just break. It won't work. Without semicolon, it won't work. And with semicolon, it terminates, let me say, the end of this program, especially like the P I just added. If you add P in the other side there, or maybe say printf or something of that kind, the other printf will be treated different from the first printf. But if you just left it like this, the computer will yell at you because the computer is confused. Computer won't understand what is going on. This is all the basic structures of what we need to know about the basic syntax of C. If you know all this, you already have the full basic knowledge that you need to learn about C, because with this, now you can write a text that will be displayed in the screen, and after this you can maybe do much more than that, especially if you got exposed to things like scanf, of which now you can write a program which will ask for your name, and instead of saying hello world, it will now say hello, then in that place of world it will give the specific name. Have you seen how interactive it is? Like the program is now interacting with you and things like this. In the next episode of this, we are going to learn about variables and constants. I think you found this episode very helpful. If you do, smash the like button. With this, see you in the next video. Thanks.